Dave Ridley Report. Ridley here, signing in this November 5th, 2008. I want to report on some New Hampshire election results that probably sort of flew under the radar of the mainstream press and probably aren't even being very effectively reported on the Free Stater websites. First, let's go to the main number that we're trying to keep track of here, and that is the number of Free Staters in the House. Now, of course, as up until now, there was only one. But now 4 Free Staters have won. It looks like 4. Conceivably, could be as little as 3, as much as 5. But we're looking at probably 4 who have won seats in the New Hampshire State House. This provides a little kernel of ever-growing and really rapidly growing hope in a sea of authoritarian victories. The Free Staters may be doing pretty well, but the Republican Party is not, and in New Hampshire, the Republican Party is closer to representing liberty. It looks like the Executive Council, the State House, the Senate, the governorship all remain firmly in Democratic hands, although I have not done a close count. But by winning 4 seats in the State House, the Free Staters have essentially reestablished the old Libertarian Party caucus. Now, they're doing it inside the major parties, but in the old days, back in the early 90s, the Libertarian Party had 4 of its representatives in the State House. That had been lost over the years, and now we've at least reclaimed something very similar to that. The 4 Free Staters who won, or appear to have won, are Carol McGuire, Republican, Joel Winters, Democrat. He's the only incumbent Free Stater, and he won re-election. The other winner appears to be, Jen Coffey appears to have won. She's a challenger also, and Cal Pratt, challenger. Now, I think all four of these are Free Staters who moved to New Hampshire at some point over the last 2 years, some point over the last 6 years, I guess I should say. And many of them only been here, about 3 years, and were only recently eligible to run. A total of about 20 Free Staters ran. A couple of those were knocked out in the primary, and then the rest were knocked out, of course, in this Democrat sweep. We would have done just great, absolutely fantastic, if we'd had some Free Staters running as Democrats, provided they had made it through the primary. They would have been in pretty good shape. So Joel Winters seems to have the right idea. If you run as a Democrat, you can help reduce the damage that's done by the National Republican Party to our runs for State House. Of course, it's hard to get on the ballot as a Democrat in the primary if you're a Free Stater. But it's been done, as Joel has proved. Now, one of these 4 races, I can't remember which one, looks like it's still kind of up in the air. It still could go the other way because only 50% of precincts are reporting in. Also, I should point out it's likely that the number of Free Staters running will be more like 40 or maybe even 60 in 2010 if past growth is any indication. Of course, again, if our current rate of growth were to continue, we would have 16 reps in 2010, but I don't think that's likely. I would bet it doesn't go quite that far. However, we'll just see, because in 2 years, I'm sure it'll be a more favorable climate for Republicans. Other races of interest to report. Maury Strauss ran as a Libertarian in Manchester, and he cracked the 4% mark, which so many Libertarians have found difficult, and he did that in I guess it was a 7-man race. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 people running. But most of the other Libertarians running as state rep candidates did pretty badly. 2 and 1% rates of vote getting. I ran as a Republican. I didn't really run, but I was on the ballot as a Republican in Manchester Ward 5. I got looks like, let me check here, 12% of the vote, and it looks like I would have needed to have about 18% of the vote in order to win. Of course, there were 6 of us, 6 candidates. Unfortunately, my goal in running was simply to help. There was a good Republican running in my ward, and I was trying to get on the ballot so as to help her. If you've got a full ballot, it tends to help the other Republicans, even though you're technically running against them. It tends to help them. I was trying to help Norma Champagne win in that ward, and it didn't work. She came in at 14%. And she needed 18% to win again. But it's just a reminder how you can be you can get a lot of votes just by being on the major parties and it seems to, again, proven pretty wasteful to run as a Libertarian. At the gubernatorial level, Libertarian candidate Sue Newell got only 2%. Libertarians were, of course, looking to try and they were trying to crack 4% at the state level, high state office level. If they had done that, then they could have attained major party status and automatically gotten on the ballot anytime they wanted. But again, when I watch, what happens when Libertarians are on the ballot, it doesn't seem to be very effective. It doesn't seem to do any good. So I'm not really all that upset about Newell failing to get 4%, although I did vote for her. Seems like the success we are having is operating inside the major parties, and I hope that continues instead of getting distracted by running LP ticket candidacies. It doesn't mean the Libertarian Party can't be effective. There's a lot of great stuff the Libertarian Party can do, but if it actually runs candidates on the LP ticket, I don't think that's very effective, except in certain narrow circumstances. Here's a piece of bad news. Paul Mirsky, not a Free Stater, but relatively long-serving state rep Republican, very pro-liberty, he got bumped out in this election cycle. Also, Casey Crane, who was, I think, B-plus rated right around there most of the time. She's a Republican from Nashua. She got bumped out, too. She's been in at least 4 years as well. But at least the Free State Project is proving successful in its small way. There's only so much we can do at these early stages with these small numbers and the 2-year delay. You have to live in New Hampshire 2 years before you can really run for state rep. Considering all those normal obstacles, especially the obstacle of Republican warmongering and Republicans being so unpopular, considering that, the project seems to be on track towards liberty in our lifetime, if not liberty in the next 5 years. I should also point out the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance ran about they didn't run, but they endorsed about 150 candidates, and I'm not trying to keep track of all that. I'm sure they had dozens of wins at least. That will be something that I will leave up to the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance itself to report. I'm trying to report the things no one else is reporting. Anyway, it's Dave Ridley signing out for RidleyReport.com this November 5th, 2008. The latest New Hampshire Liberty News.